Nationally, there was 44,434 commencements over the March quarter, 47,573 houses and apartments that completed construction over the quarter, but there was still 189,247 houses and apartments under construction at the end of the first quarter of the year. But the number under construction is still significantly higher than we typically see it. Commencements peaked in March 2016 and they've fallen by about 28%. That was obviously during the boom when we were seeing a very high number of particularly apartments being constructed. In terms of completions, they peaked in December 2016 and they've fallen almost 19% from their peak. And then finally, the number of dwellings under construction peaked in March 2018, so a bit later than commencements and completions, and it's fallen also by about 18%, but it's still a long way above what we typically see. Commencements have started to pull back a little bit over the last little while, and that's really a response to the fact that the housing market was slowing through most of 2018 and certainly early 2019. Clearly now we've hit the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's likely that the June quarter will show a reduction in the number of commencements as well. In terms of the number of properties under construction, it's still very high. There was 57,149 houses under construction, and there was 130,687 new units under construction at the end of the first quarter of this year. So you can see it's still a very high number. The number of units under construction significantly dwarfing houses, but once you've started a unit, it's pretty hard to stop the construction of a tower. There's no data to really support an evidence of a slowdown because we've only got data to the March quarter and lockdowns only started in mid-March. But I think certainly some developers are having second thoughts about whether or not to go ahead with some new projects, but that's probably in that higher density space. Obviously, we've got home builder announced now, and that's certainly going to be positive for new housing more so than new apartment construction. So I think the long-term outlook for detached houses is actually quite strong to the end of this year. Obviously, we've still got a lot of apartments under construction, but I think we'll see fewer new apartment projects going ahead at this point. After that, it really depends on where we are with the pandemic, because the stimulus is going to wind out of the market then, and if international borders are shut, then it's going to be a challenge for the new housing sector, both apartments and detached houses. So we're already seeing quite a lot of an increase in inquiry for developer product on the back of home builder. I guess the challenge is that it's only here until the end of 2020, and it's going to pull forward a lot of demand. So 2021, we could actually find a bit of a hole in demand unless there's some other form of stimulus or international borders are starting to be reopened. The investor sector is obviously the one that's really challenged at the moment. We're seeing rents falling, and that's probably impacting more so than anything the apartment sector. A lot of them have been purchased by investors, and now they're going to settle in a weak rental market with international borders shut and rental prices falling. So that's potentially an area that will need some stimulus going forward.